I was interested in things like Islamic finance. I was doing a lot of research around this area, Islamic finance, halal businesses, and it seemed that anybody would stick the label of halal on something, but actually there was so much issues that were going on behind the scenes. Who was measuring the social impact? Who was measuring the environmental impact? Who was looking at whether workers were being paid properly and on time? Who was looking at those types of issues, like what are we doing for the community and the society around us? And I thought, well, actually, as a halal economy, we have a massive opportunity to make sure that we go back and reclaim the notion of halal and reclaim the ideas around environmental responsibility, social responsibility, back into our values of halal. Now, partly as a British Muslim, I hold claim to this, but actually it's not just me. There's so many of us that look at the word halal and we think it's only about meat or what we eat. But actually a halal lifestyle and an ethical lifestyle is much broader than just saying, well, okay, if I eat meat that's got a certificate that says it's from a halal certified source, I'm a perfect Muslim. Well, what if my money has been come through by ill-gotten reasons? I've stolen it, I've done fraud, I've hurt somebody as part of getting that money. Whatever I'm eating is not then halal, and we as Muslims take that for granted, but we presume that everybody else out there understands that. There's a broader ecosystem of values, and I think we are not doing a good enough job in promoting those values, about making sure that we as people are people of integrity, and not just in terms of the words we say, but the actions. So halal businesses need to be at the forefront of environmental and social investment. We need to make sure that we don't talk about how Islam is so kind, and that we've got poor people, hungry people sat outside our restaurants and businesses begging for food, and we're throwing our food away. There needs to be a tie-up in terms of those broader values and how we implement them within our businesses, within our institutions, and within how we teach the halal principles and values. And again, I think as Muslims, sometimes we're very insular. We do not realise that there's a world out there that is absolutely wanting those values that are within the halal ecosystem. Who doesn't want something that is clean and pure and non-toxic? Who wants, land to be looked after, people to be looked after? There's a lot of people in this world that have got Muslim values, even though they're not Muslims. And actually we're failing to reach them because all we talk about is the minutiae. And the minutiae is important, but actually it's not the only aspect of halal. There is a much bigger picture that we are failing to communicate and failing to engage people with. And there is a big media issue, whether it's deliberate or whether it's a misconception, which is around Muslims, our eating habits, our lifestyles. It is up to us as Muslims to look at how we can change that perception, and the way we change that perception is by bringing out the truer values that are associated within Islam around ethical living, looking after others, both the broader community and within that the people that are in need and need our voices and our support for them. So whilst I was doing this research around responsibility, I started off, this is going back about 10 years ago, so this isn't overnight. I'm a reflector, I look at things, I look at models, where they're succeeding, where they're failing. And I looked and I thought, well, actually in Islam, I thought, well, it's all part of CSR, corporate social responsibility. And then I looked and thought, actually it's more than that. Then I thought, is it about environmental responsibility? And I thought, actually it's not even environmental responsibility, it's more than that. Is it fair trade? Looking after the people who grow the food, making sure that things are produced properly. It's more than that. So I called it the total responsibility system because it's holistic. And it covers within there the Islamic way and the halal way. It's actually looking after society, making sure that everybody in our area and in the world, but also our local areas, is looked after. Then it's looking at those environmental issues. Are we buying things that are harming the environment and polluting it for animals, for fish, for plants? We are accountable. They may not have voices, we have. And we have the choice to make the right choice. We don't have to choose the cheapest just so that we can have the cheapest thing in our pocket, but actually we need to choose the things that will optimise rather than profit maximise. And I will bring this point back about optimisation rather than profit maximisation in a short while. And I want to move away from this notion or this idea that actually halal is about, let's help the needy. And I understand that this is about making sure we move away from certain things, but actually we need to be proactive. How do we stop environmental challenges occurring? How do we invest in the future? How do we make sure that poverty is eliminated? What do we do to give people the self-pride? There's fantastic people out there, but what we're doing is, because we're thinking in silos rather than holistically, we are not engaging the best people to help us across society. Now, social, environmental and civic impact. You go to any private, if you look at the capitalist model has put financial reporting standards together, how you report things to standardise it, a bit like the halal economy, that you basically